What's up, guys? So today's video is going to be talk like this to avoid the friend zone. Now, a lot of you guys, you can get the first date, the second date, but then something happens and you inevitably end up in the friend zone. She says something along the lines of, "It's not you, it's me," which is, everyone knows that's the biggest lie on the planet. So anyway, let's get right into this. Hopefully you guys can start avoiding the friend zone. So for all of these points, I'm going to have two different examples. One's going to be good, and one's going to be bad, okay? So we're going to be able to follow this along. I'm going to X out the bad one, check off the good one, okay? So number one, we have use definitive statements. So instead of saying something when you have a date coming up, instead of saying something like, "How does 8:30 sound?" Or, "I'm going to be picking you up at 8:30, we're going to go to Cheesecake Factory. Does that sound good to you?" So X that out, that's no good. Instead, you want to use a definitive statement such as, "I'm picking you up at 8:30, wear something hot, everything else will be taken care of." If you send a text like that, you're going to get a response like, "Okay, daddy," or "I love it when you talk to me like that." So check that off, use definitive statements. Number two, call her out on something playfully. So say you get her laughing, you see she starts to blush. Instead of saying something like, "Are you blushing right now?" Say, "Do you always blush like this around guys like me?" And then she's gonna say, "What do you mean guys like you?" And then don't even respond. Just say, "Don't worry about it." And girls love and hate the statement, "Don't worry about it," because it leaves them thinking, and they just hate open ends because they're so used to just being told exactly what the guy's thinking. And she has to think about what you're thinking. And that's very powerful stuff. So X out that one. Are you blushing right now? No. Check. Okay. Next one, flirt with intent. So say she shows up to this date wearing a really skin tight dress, some cleavage showing. Instead of her walking through that door and you saying, "Oh, you look nice," or "You look pretty," X, say, "That dress is going to be a problem," or "That dress is going to be trouble." Check. What that does is imply that you're not going to be able to keep your hands off her, or it just implies some type of romantic interest and some type of sexual stuff before it ever gets to that point. So it just lets her think in her head, like, what does he mean by that? Like, is he going to make a move on me? Like, and it's going to make her, it's going to make her little, make that water flow. Next, never seek validation. So if you're sitting on a date with a girl, never ask the question, "Am I your type?" Okay? X, never ask, "Am I your type?" Instead, say something like, "You're cute, but I still don't know if you're going to be fun to hang out with." Okay? So instead of seeking validation, you almost make it seem like you're not sure on her, which is a lot more powerful in raising her attraction than asking a question like that where you're seeking her to reassure you. Make it where she is going to be starting to look for your validation and seek your validation. So, "You're cute, but I still don't know if you'd be fun to hang out with." So, okay. Next, be direct about intentions, okay? Instead of saying, "I'd like to get to know you further," this is when you're first texting and stuff, say you're trying to take it from the app to a date. Instead of saying, "I'd like to get to know you further," X, you're going to say, "I like your vibe, let's grab a drink this weekend." Okay? That implies that A, you know about the vibe, good vibes, drink. If she says she doesn't drink, then maybe that means you're not compatible. Maybe that means she won't like you. A lot of these points are also figuring out if you guys would be a good match. It's not just keeping you out of the friend zone, it's also showing if you should friend zone her, okay? So, "I like your vibe, let's grab a drink this weekend." Check. Next point, do not be a therapist. So instead of anything like, why do you always pick these bad guys? You deserve better. I'm sure you've heard that 1,000 million times where guys say, oh, you deserve so much better. You're such a good girl. X. Whoops. X. Instead, you're going to want to say, damn, you got to work on your taste in men. Maybe I can help with that. Basically just implying that you're not going to be like those other guys. You're also just showing that you're not a simp that's going to act like that. You know, women like bad guys, whether anyone likes it or not. So you just want to make sure that you separate yourself from the nice guys while also not being a doormat therapist for her. So you want to make sure, playfully, say, damn, you got to work on your taste in men, smile, laugh, say, maybe I can help with that. Check. Okay. Next is going to be use disqualifiers in conversation. And I put in parentheses, real or fake, because it doesn't matter if these are real disqualifiers for you. And the example I put probably isn't super real. I said, you know, take for example, she listens to Taylor Swift. You ask her, you know, who's your favorite artist? She says Taylor Swift. Instead of saying, oh yeah, I don't mind Taylor Swift every once in a while. You pretend like you really hate Taylor Swift. Like, do you really not mind her? No. Every time she comes on the radio, I switch that shit. So instead, you want to say something like, I could never date a girl who listens to Taylor Swift. Even if that's a complete lie, that makes her show that you're willing to disqualify her based on something like that. And it's also going to make her laugh and try to convince you that Taylor Swift is good, which is getting her talking about one of her interests while also, you know, making her feel like she has to prove herself to you even further than that. Okay, so that's important. Use disqualifiers in convo. All right, final point here is know how to walk away. Even if you don't end up getting friend zoned and the girl just says, you know, it's not you, it's me, or she wants to just end the dates, end the conversations, and you know you're not a good match anymore. Instead of saying something like, or she says she's not ready for a relationship, you say something like, you don't want to say something like, it's okay, take your time. I'll be here when you figure things out. Hell no. You want to say something like, I like women who know what they want. If that's not you, no worries, we'll live. Imply that it's not the end of the world if things don't work out between you. If she's not the type of woman that knows what she wants, she's not for you, showing you have some standards. And you just never want to leave that door open because that puts you right in the friend zone. Tell her that it's okay if she passes on you right now, but you'll be there when she's ready. No. So check that off. And yeah, guys, as always, this isn't everything, but this will help you get your foot out of the friend zone, okay? So if you guys got something out of this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.